Thank you, Madam Chair and Ranking Member Graves, for holding this really vitally important hearing. I'd also like to thank the assembled witnesses for sharing your perspectives with us on how we can improve the procurement environment for the engines of our economy, America's small businesses. My question is for anyone who can answer on the panel. Recently, the Court of Federal Claims held the Small Business Act requires opportunities to be set aside for hub zone firms over firms that participate in other small business development programs. I think Congress must act to address the outcome of this case, which could likely be a chilling impact on procurement opportunities for non-hub zone firms. I think it's important for Congress to make its intent clear that each of the specialized procurement programs at SBA must be on equal footing. What would be appropriate to address this parity issue, number one? And two, how quickly do you think this issue needs to be addressed? And in your opinion, is it important to act right away, or can this wait?
Congresswoman, I'd be happy to address your question, and thanks for it. Obviously, this decision by GAO last year is very concerning to small disabled, veteran-owned small businesses, as it would put hub zone above small disabled, veteran-owned small businesses in those situations where a contracting officer may be looking at giving it to this one or this one. So in that sense, we would hope that Congress would act immediately to address this issue.
We are a hub zone firm, and I actually believe that parity ought to be across the board. By putting one program above another program, no matter what program it is, 8A, hub zone, service disabled, I think we're creating an atmosphere where small businesses are fighting against each other for small pieces of the pie instead of putting them all together and growing the pie in general.
Yes, LAMA and U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce support that position entirely. It's time for there to be parity across all programs, and that should be done as soon as possible. Thank you.
We would not want to see a preference for any small business group. In fact, one of our complaints is that contracting officers try to meet all of their goals on every single contract, and we recognize as business people that in certain geographical locations that's really not possible. But as long as they make an honest effort and demonstrate that, we don't have any problem with the division.
There is an ongoing challenges faced by small business subcontractors, which reinforces barriers to fair access to federal procurement space. Subcontractors are being listed by prime contractors to secure federal contracts, only to be cast aside once the contract has been awarded. Something has to be done to ensure that subcontractors, typically smaller firms, are treated fairly by the prime contractors, typically larger firms. And I understand that that was part of the testimony heard here today. Have you found this to be a significant issue? If so, may I draw your and my colleagues' attention to H.R. 4134, the Subcontractor Fairness Act of 2009. It's a bill that I co-authored with William Lacey Clay to hold prime contractors accountable for subcontracting proposals that they submit as part of the federal contract bid in the civilian or defense context. Can you give me your feedback? Mm-hmm.
Yes, we salute you for that bill. We supported it right here in our testimony. It is the foundation for what we think is needed in the subcontracting arena. The key piece that has been missing for all of these decades has been a contract. And we would simply add to your bill the notion, not the notion, but the a provision that along with identifying the subcontractors, the scope of work, and the dollar value, the terms of the subcontract agreement be part of the legislation as well. Otherwise, the primes subcontract with you for a while and then move you out.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I yield back the balance of my time.